Hello there, darlings. I wanted to give a little recap today of the very first protest that I was able to attend in Denmark, in Copenhagen, which is the main organization, the main Scientology organization for Europe. So all other smaller organizations, including the Basel org, which is the organization in Switzerland that I grew up in, they will have to report every week to this organization where we went to protest. So it's, it's probably, I think it's fair to say, the most important organization in the area of Europe. Anyway, so we went there to protest, and I was not there on my own. I was there with the marvelous Bianca from Scientology Rundown. I was with Miriam from Scientology Up North. I was with Balázs, the shiny and wonderful Balázs from Aram Hub Cult. And then we were joined by two twins, which I've seen them once before, I believe, on a live stream with Miriam and Aram Hub Cult, Kasha and Carolina, and they were also wonderful. It was wonderful to meet them and for them to be there to help us with the protest. So we were 6 people protesting, and so 3 of us having been in Scientology, involved in Scientology, and 3 never-ins. So that was wonderful. And Bianca was very busy, took many hours to write out the receipt, the list of all the names that we have so far of children in Scientology that grew up in Scientology, now obviously adults, and that have had the bravery to talk about it, to speak up about the past, as well as all the people that have passed away in Scientology, either because of abuse, neglect, of doing the ultimate thing, or just having passed away, as one would call it, from natural causes, illness, age, whatever. But that were children in Scientology, that grew up in Scientology. So it was amazing, kind of scary to see this list because it was so long, and it was just over 200 names. And the thing that I found very sort of intense looking at this list is that all the children I grew up with in the Basel org, including my siblings, the children that I was in a cadet org with at St. Hill in England, and the teenagers and the ones in the tweens at St. Hill who were 2nd gen or 3rd gen Scientologists, none of their names did I find on that list. So there are many, many more who are not there. And some of these that I knew are not in Scientology anymore. Some of them are in Scientology anymore, but they're not really part of it. Some of them are sort of under the radar. So they're, pretending to be part of it, but really they've sort of stepped out as well. But they can't officially step out because they are, maybe their family or all of their family is involved in Scientology, and they're not in a position to actually speak out. I wasn't only there to protest for what happened to me and what happened to Bianca, to Balázs, and everybody on the list, but I was also there for all the children that are not on the list, and I've known that for some reason are not on the list, have not been able to speak up. Maybe they still are in Scientology, and I'm still convinced that it is wonderful. But I'm sure that one day they will, wake up and realize what it actually is. And yeah, I just wanted to say that if anybody's watching, that we knew each other, we were children in Scientology. I want you to know that I was there for you too, even if you couldn't have been there, even if you cannot speak out. I just wanted to say that. So it was a crazy few hours being there, because I didn't expect so much support as well. I mean, we had so many people talking to us, being curious about it, saying, oh yes, we've heard that Scientology is really bad, and so on and so forth. And then we were able to engage a little bit. We were able to give away several of these business cards. So we had on this side, Leaving Scientology. Let me just go like that. Maybe that helps. SPTV Foundation. Okay. And on the other side, we have the sptv.space, where people can actually go and find the different channels and find out about more information about Scientology and what it is all about. So we had many people engaging with us, talking to us, as well as showing signs of approval, of support, by raising their fists, by clapping, by taking pictures, by giving us thumbs up. Yeah, that was great. I didn't expect that, really. We had obviously many SEAL members coming by and ignoring the list, and I started saying to them, well, confront the list, trying to use their lingo, because to confront something it's a command, and maybe it would sort of trigger them to say, oh yeah, I need to go and confront or whatever. And it didn't really work. None of them really did that. But the funny thing happened as well at one point is that they started to lock the front entrance, because for some reason they think we will storm the org or something. I don't know what they thought of, why they do this. They do it all over the place, lock the front door. And so what happened, people trying to get in, they had to wait for a few seconds. And for 2-3 seconds, we were able to tell them, look at this list. These are a list of children. I grew up in Scientologists. We are ex-Scientologists. Because something I had heard of when I was in Scientology and there was a protest going on is that these are all none of them have anything to do with Scientology. They never even read a book. They're all being paid to do this, to protest us. And so to my mind, well, these people have never even read a book, so they don't even know what they're talking about. So their protest was already discredited for me. And so that's why it was important for me to tell them that we are actually ex-Scientologists. We grew up in Scientology. We know what we're talking about. We're not just some random person who's never read a book or doesn't know anything about it, hasn't done any research at all, and certainly not paid. That was important for me to also say, to maybe, leave something in their mind. The only thing we can do is spread seeds, and eventually one of them will take root. And something will happen, something will click, and then they will have to realize themselves, because eventually they have to realize. There's nothing really we can say that will make them, wake up immediately. There are just things we can say again and again, and eventually, due to their situations as well in Scientology, they will just wake up and they will realize. And hopefully they will remember SPTV Foundation, they will remember SPTV.space to check that out. And of course, we had a OSA guru coming along, trying to intimidate us, mainly the women. He went to the women to try to intimidate them, but the men he completely ignored. He ignored Balázs. Me, he just acknowledged. He said, "You're Samuel," so he obviously knew about me, and then he just moved on. And he also ignored Miriam, and I think the reason for that is as well because he knew who she is, but he didn't know Bianca, he didn't know the twins, and so he went right to them, almost right up to their face, trying to intimidate them. But these women, they did not take a step back. They were not frightened. They stood their ground and just talked very calmly to him, while he was very insistent and very intensely talking to them. And then, I don't know, 15 minutes later or so, his wife came along and started to film us on her camera, going very close up to our face to make sure she gets all of our fabulous detail and all of our fabulous makeup. And so that was intense. I was surprised that happened. I didn't think that they would do this in Europe, but fair enough. And but yeah, overall I would say the protest went very well. It was beautifully organized by Miriam and Balázs. We had uniforms, we had t-shirts on, and almost like reflecting what it says on the card. And we had this banner, we had all the permits. The security from the Scientology security was trying to get the police to stop us doing what we're doing. The police, the security guard even lied to the police, saying that we are harassing and we are shouting at people, which we were not doing. But the police, they were not having any of that. In fact, they gave us even thumbs up that we're doing everything fine, everything correctly, the way we should do it. So that was a flunk for security and for Scientology. And overall, a very upset protest for us. Afterwards, we went home, and then we basically sort of lazed around for a good hour or so, because it was quite draining, talking to all of these people, walking around up and down, and obviously all the different emotions that come up. Seeing the uniform and whatnot. I mean, that was a little bit triggering, shall we say? And then after that, we went to town and we did a bit of shopping. And Miriam and Balash were so gracious to show us a little bit around Copenhagen, the capital of Denmark. And we did a bit of shopping. We went out to eat, and yeah. And then the following day, on Sunday, we also had a lovely day going out and discovering the beauty of Copenhagen. And this was the first protest I did, and it certainly shall not be the last protest. And I do hope that you found the live that we did. So I did a live streaming. Then we had Miriam from Scientology Up North, and then we had Balash from Aaron Hubcult. We all did live streaming, capturing different angles, different conversations that we had. Again, we had many conversations with people who were never Scientologists or anything like that, but just were simply interested. So anyway, I do hope you found this informative, interesting. You enjoyed the protest. Please let me know down in the comments what you thought about it. If you have any questions about it, go right ahead. And other than that, I wish you a most excellent and marvelous day. Goodbye.